Here's what we're going to cover in today's training session. We're going to look at how to connect to the HVDIs, which devices can you connect from, how does printing work, can you personalize your desktop, how do you copy data from your local machine up into the HVDI and back down, can you install applications into the HVDI, is it backed up, and what happens if you lose internet connectivity. Let's look at each one of these in turn. So the first one is, how do you connect? Well, your system administrator would have already installed the application on your desktop. It'll be an icon on there, so you just launch it and then you'll be prompted for your username and password. Click log on and that's it. You'll then launch a hosted desktop, which will look something like this. Which devices can you connect to it from? Well, that's one of the beauties of the HVDI, is that you can connect to it from multiple devices, bring your own device to work essentially. So that includes any Windows machine, Windows XP, Service Pack 3 and upwards, Windows Vista, Windows 7. Any Mac, so if you've got a Mac at home running one of the latest versions, and that includes Leopard, Sun Leopard or Lion, then you can connect to your hosted desktop from home. You can connect to it from your iPad. If it's an iPad 1, iOS 3.2 or later, or an iPad 2, you can connect to it. Different Android versions, and that's running their versions of gingerbread, honeycomb and ice cream sandwich as the software on those. They can all connect. And finally, multiple thin clients can connect to the hosted desktops. Next thing to cover was printing. Well, printing, because it's a Windows 7 machine for your hosted desktop, it's going to work in the exact same manner that you're used to. So, if you had a document open and you wanted to print to it, you're just selecting File, Print, and now you hit print. So looking at the printers, all of your locally attached printers will appear in here in your hosted desktop, because it's using some redirection to do that. And that includes locally attached printers, printers that are on your local area network, either through the wired network or through wireless. They're all going to appear in the hosted desktop. Next thing was, can you personalize your desktop? And yes is the answer. You can install any applications you like on them, and you can personalize the desktop just in the normal manner. So you'd right mouse click on the desktop, select personalize, click desktop background, click the down arrow, and now you could select pictures library and put on a picture of your dog or whatever your favorite picture is. For the sense of this demonstration, I'm going to just change the background, save changes, and there I personalized the background. Next thing to cover was copying and pasting from your local up into the HVDI and back down. So let's minimize the desktop, and you do that by moving the cursor all the way up to the top, selecting the minimize button. Now I'm back into my local desktop, and say if I wanted to copy this from my local desktop, all I do is copy it to the clipboard, come back into my hosted desktop, select paste, and there it is. I can open it up now in my hosted desktop. And if I wanted to do it the other way around as well, say I wanted to copy this, I'm just going to copy it there to the clipboard, minimize my hosted desktop, and I can paste it into my local desktop. And now I could open that up. The other way of doing it is, so let's go back into the hosted desktop. I can bring up Windows Explorer, and I could then pull from my local C drive, which is these redirected drives here, and now I can open up a test directory in there and copy that, and then I can go to the C drive on my hosted desktop, and I could just paste it wherever I like. I'm going to paste it into the root there, and so now I can open that in my hosted desktop. So things to note here is that this is the C drive on the hosted desktop, and then these other drives are redirected drives from my local machine. So this is a USB drive, and that's a network drive, and they all appear within the hosted desktop. Next thing, can you install applications into your hosted desktop? And yes is the answer to that. So if I launch this, and then if I went to a particular site for downloading stuff, filehippo.com is a frequent one, I could just click on one of these and it it's going to download the executable and all the files associated to it, and then you can install it in the normal manner. Is your HVDI backed up? And the answer is yes. So say you lost a particular file, or even a complete folder, or say that your whole HVDI was messed up and you wanted to restore it to a previous day. Just open up a ticket to your support staff, and they'll make sure that it gets all restored for you. And of note there, whenever you open up a ticket to your support staff, you want to give them the subscription ID. And if you move your cursor to the top of the screen there, you'll see this number here, D10, and yours will be something slightly different. But that's what you'll want to give to them so that they know which particular desktop is having the problems. Lastly, what happens to files if you lose internet connectivity? Well, they're going to be still on your desktop. So say you had a file open on your desktop and you lost connection to your HVDI. Next time you connect to it, it's just going to be still in the same exact state that you left it. So that file will be open in your desktop. And that's it. That's all I wanted to cover today in the overview of HVDI desktops.